thought it was over. We really did.
You thought it was over.
We thought we were in the clear, but as the great Desert Rose Band once sang, one step forward and 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back, although this time it feels like 1 step forward, 10 steps back. Looking back on it, I really thought that 2017 was going to go down in history as the year that bro country finally jumped the shark. Sam Hunt's Body Like a Back Road seemed like it would be the last straw for a lot of country music fans, especially traditionally minded country music fans. A colossal crossover hit that played on every single bro country cliche that you could think of. It almost seemed like parody. It was too good to be true. It was a commercial success, but it certainly was not a critical one. And to top it all off, after the song peaked in popularity, setting up Sam Hunt for what appeared to be yet another extremely successful album cycle, he dropped off the face of the planet and took basically 2 full years off from the music industry to go, I don't know, drunk driving or something. Body Like a Back Road, though, was not the only critically panned pop country mega hit of 2017. There was also pop singer BB Rexha's collaboration with Florida Georgia Line, Meant to Be, a song so uncountry that it is truly a stain on the near century-long existence of the genre that this is officially the longest lasting #1 hit in country chart history. There's no way it could get worse than that, right? The backlash to all this was ferocious, and with Hunt deciding to step away at the peak of his popularity, a new generation of male country singers stepped in to fill the void. And this time, things felt different.
Going up, down, up, down, up, down. That's the one right there.
Among the quieter headlines from 2017 were the breakout debut singles from 2 new male country singers that would come to dominate the next half-decade of country music. Morgan Wallen's Up Down, also a collaboration with Florida Georgia Line, certainly fit the bro country mold, but it set him up perfectly for his dominant yet controversial commercial streak that has only grown stronger with time, for better or for worse. There's also Luke Combs bursting onto the charts with his debut album and the smash hit When It Rains It Pours, a track that sonically reflects the best of mid-2000s country and was a very welcome relief on country radio at the time. That song and his debut major label single Hurricane kicked off a run for Combs that has truly been one of the best first 5-year periods that we have ever seen in country music. Say what you want about his music. I've been saying this for a while, but I'm starting to see more and more people saying it online. Homeboy might be starting to get a little bit repetitive and formulaic. However, you simply cannot deny that his run so far has been the stuff of country music legend. And so in the past few years since 2017, we've seemingly made a lot of progress away from the bro country sounds of the mid-2010s. Midland also had their breakout hit Drinkin' Problem in 2017. John Party has been burning up the charts as well, and in 2019 he had a #1 hit, Heartache Medication, a song with a fiddle hook. That has not been done on radio in quite a long time. There's also Cody Johnson, straight out of the Texas scene, who may be too rodeo for radio, but he is killing it despite what Nashville execs seem to think of him. The independents have been popping off too. You hear more about Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers, and Cody Jinks these days than a lot of the mainstream Nashville acts. And then how can we forget that Chris Stapleton, of all people, dropped what ended up being the biggest country album of the entire 2010s. And sure, since 2017, there's been the rise of boyfriend country, there's the whole Old Town Road incident, but for the most part, it does seem that ever so slightly, the mainstream country music tide has been slowly turning back to a somewhat more traditional place. And then here comes Walker Hayes to ruin all that.
Yeah, we fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Got that bourbon.
Yes, ladies and gents, the biggest country song of the year of our Lord 2021 was a bro country song. But hold on, whiplash back to 2017 really quick with me. You see, there was another highly controversial single that came out that year on the country charts, and it was the breakout single for Old Crimson Chin right here. You Broke Up With Me is truly one of the most bizarre country singles of all time. With Body Like a Back Road, sure, it sucked, it was widely hated, but we were all well acquainted with Sam Hunt by that point. It was just more of the same. And then with Meant to Be, we all saw a hit like that coming. We were aware of the intrusion of hip-hop beats cycled with looped banjo riffs and knew that a song like that would be the logical conclusion to that push in sound. But the reception to You Broke Up With Me was simply confusion. Like, what the heck was this? It's clearly not country, but it's really not anything else either. You Broke Up With Me was a top 10 10 country hit, but it was actually a pretty quiet storyline that year. It was controversial and generated some headlines, but it disappeared from the charts quickly, as did the man who performed it. Then, out of absolutely nowhere, Walker Hayes comes roaring back in 2021 with a song that is frankly one of the most impressive comeback hits of all time. You almost have to admire how ridiculous, insufferable, pandering, and obnoxious this song is. And it has worked beautifully. Fancy Like has been a monster crossover hit. It peaked at number 3 on the all-genre Billboard Hot 100 towards the end of last year. And its position wasn't just a one-week fluke. As a matter of fact, it stayed in the top 10 for a while. And as I record this video, it's still in the Hot 100 at number 16 over 6 months into its run. This song is a real, legitimate smash hit and is already one of the biggest crossover country singles of all time. So what does this mean? How is it possible that, despite all of the sonic progress that we've seemingly made so far in the past few years in country music, that this dad bro with his ridiculous Giga Chad jawline can just come in out of nowhere and take us back to 2013 in an instant? Let's not forget that there have been plenty of other songs in the past year, such as Where the Country Girls At, that show that maybe the bro country ethos is still out there. Maybe it's still profitable. And sure, Where the Country Girls At is certainly not a hit. As a matter of fact, it was a colossal flop. But clearly there is some money in that type of song, because otherwise they wouldn't be making it anymore. I'm no expert on this, and frankly, I'm not even that invested in the whole situation. I do follow mainstream country music, but I don't listen to a lot of it. Lots of you probably are not regular viewers of this channel, but if you were to look back through my videos really briefly, you can see that I rarely listen to country music that's younger than 20 years old. However, I can offer this theory of what we can infer from the success of Fancy Like. Nashville is going to do what Nashville's going to do, and there's really not much we can do about it. But what do you mean there's nothing we can do about it? You're probably shouting at your phone screen right now. And yes, perhaps it's a stretch to say that there's nothing we can do as country music fans. Obviously, money talks and money also walks. But seriously, let's be realistic for a moment and think about how much of an impact our online hardcore anti-pop country community can actually have on the Nashville machine. Consider how insular they are and how set in their ways they are. They'll keep propping up their in-house acts and their industry plans, astroturfing more #1 hit singles, and it really seems like you can only change it from within. Unless you're in the club, you really have no say. Nashville alone will have to be the source of change within mainstream country, and right now, I just don't see much change happening. It'd be nice to hope for some sort of 1990 style massive overnight changing of the guard, like what happened in that year, where all of a sudden out of nowhere a bunch of neo-traditional hat acts burst onto the scene, and next thing you know, country was having a massive neo-traditional revival. But right now there seems to be no profit incentive for Nashville to produce anything other than pop country. So here's what you can do as a fan of modern country music that wants to see further change in the mainstream. Less pop country, more of the traditional stuff. Most of you probably already do this, but as a reminder, the best way to support an artist is to buy stuff directly from them. That means buying your music from them, buying it on iTunes, buying a physical copy, a CD, a vinyl record, a cassette tape if they even make those. Buy merch directly from them. Buy concert tickets. Send your dollars directly to them or to their record company if that's how you do it. All of what I just mentioned goes much further towards compensating an artist properly for their work than streaming it. Most artists make no money on streaming unless they're Taylor Swift or something. By putting your dollars towards artists that you support, not only are you supporting them directly, but you're also taking money out of the pockets of Nashville and in general big label execs. And this leads to my sort of major tinfoil hat level country music endgame theory. Maybe to save country music, we need to prop up power centers other than Nashville. And I know that that's a radical take because Nashville has always been the epicenter of country music. That's just always the way it's been. But as I said, right now, it appears that Nashville has absolutely no reason to stop producing the brand of country music that they are producing. People keep on buying it. And so if Nashville won't turn away from their pop country formulas, that's fine. There's a growing scene in Texas that you can support and follow instead. Texas is probably the most famous and well-known country scene outside of the Nashville scene, but that shouldn't be it. Why not invest in growing regional country music scenes all across the nation? California, Arizona, Oklahoma, heck, even the Northeast. States that you probably wouldn't even think of, Kansas, Wyoming, all of those states are bursting with talent that will probably never achieve mainstream success if they can't break into Nashville. That's always the way it's been. If you want to be successful in country music, you got to break into Nashville. However, by giving these artists the attention they deserve, we can shift the country music scene, if ever so slightly, back to a more traditional space. I know that this is quite a lot for what was supposed to be just a short mini comedic rant about Fancy Like, but this has seriously been on my mind about country music for a long time. I just don't know if the future of the genre lies in Nashville, at least in terms of, pushing things back towards a more traditional and orthodox direction. And so I think that is what we can take away from the success of Fancy Like. The bro country ethos is not dead. Just because it's not 2015 anymore and there aren't as many songs on the radio about tan legs in a truck tailgate doesn't mean that the ethos or the sound has died. As a matter of fact, the sound has persisted. The sound is actually the standard now. So we'll just have to see where it goes. But I think that is my thought nowadays on mainstream country music. You have to be the change that you want to see. And so if you want country music to move back in a more traditional direction, you have to support artists that deserve your support. You have to take your money out of Nashville and also be the change. Maybe make your own country music. That's what I have been thinking of lately. Maybe I should just put up or shut up. Maybe I should just make my own music and, no, this is not a promo. I don't have any music to my name right now, but that's just me saying, be the change you want to see. Maybe that's what we can take away from Fancy Like and its success. Let me know what you think in the comments about Fancy Like and what we can take away from its success. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.